gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay.
Doom, doom, cue music. The AM show.
The AM
The
show.
fastest way to get to A and B in information with the AM show.
The AM show with Adonis and Michael. Do 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 do. Choo choo
Welcome to
choo.
the show, everybody. We'll be your hosts today, Michael Nguyen and Adonis Templo. How are you doing today, man?
Good. How are you?
How's the world treating you?
The world's been treating me really good. It's been a productive week. Everything was just mixed together with all the days, but it's good. It's good. It's whenever I have like weeks like that, I feel like okay, we're staying busy. So how about you? How's the week treating you? How's the week?
Good, man. Life is well. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into a nice topic. And just for the audience, this is our first show. You know what I'm saying? Number one. It's the pilot, bro. Do you know why they call it a pilot? Have you ever heard that the Hollywood backstory on why they call things pilots?
I remember reading about it, but I forgot. What is it? Why is it called the pilot again? It's like the test flight.
It's basically like your show taking off or you're taking off, right?
There we go.
So
yeah.
It's called the pilot from that.
Oh my gosh, that's freaking awesome.
Let's take off. Let's take off into the world.
Let's start with
Adonis and Michael, the AM show.
And like you said, let's start off with intros. You want to intro yourself, Michael? It's awesome. Let's freaking do that.
No, I appreciate it. Of course, Michael Nguyen here, but you know, for our today's topic and and how our show it kind of goes is we talk about the victories and the stories that make life what they are. Is the I am, right? Like as in the Bible, the I am is God. This is what we are going to be talking through and each and all of our shows, right? It's got what God made us to be, and I am victorious. Today is about victory.
Yes. Awesome.
How do you feel about that, Don? How do you feel about that word victory? What does it mean to you? What is it all about?
For me, it's like the just taking on what you need to take on and just keep going and you'll be victorious. You know, that's a daily task.
I mean, I think you can get deep in there, which we will in today's show, right? But I mean, there's many more layers than just taking the journey itself, right? Everything we do is a journey. Everything, whether it's from brushing your teeth in the morning, your morning routine, to what you do with your family at nighttime, right? And so on and so forth. Or maybe you're at the bar. It all takes victorious movement because life is about victory. Being alive the next second, the next day, the next morning.
Yeah.
That's victory right there. And if you have that, then all the other victories just kind of come on through.
Just come on through. It's awesome. Yeah. So it's good being victorious and as far as like your achievements too and stuff like that. So it's awesome.
But you know, that's the thing though, right? Victory it's so many things to so many different people, right?
It's so hard to describe. It could be sure.
Exactly, and it's also based off of time, right? It could be like today you're chasing after a promotion, but tomorrow you might be chasing after a new house or your next building a family. There's so many ways to call things victorious, but for each person it means something different. So I think the best way to do it, right, to be able to kind of get into the topic of victory in itself is to really dive into a specific story that everybody knows, right? I think you've heard of this, Adonis. You've probably been compared to this in some ways in some of your challenges, right?
Very much so.
But the story is David and Goliath.
Yes.
The mega show. This is the first account of real victory, right? Underdog, faith tested all the way through, pure rock solid emotion and driving to victory.
Yeah. And this is like the meat and potatoes of victory and what it is to be victorious. Through even like you said, like the faith and like the courage. The courage alone, that's victorious. That's crazy, you know. So that's pretty awesome.
No doubt. Let me tell you that I guess like everybody, like, you know, of course when you read the Bible, right, and and the stories that you read through, there's always a different animation, right, of how that story unfolds in your mind. Everybody is, I'm sure, is unique to different, unless you're watching a movie, right? Then you kind of get the same view. But
Yes.
from when you're reading something, it leaves it up to your own imagination, right, to kind of paint the story. Right.
Yes.
So for me, all right, David and Goliath is a classic true tale, right? Goliath being this giant, 6'9". Well, it's 6 cubits and a span. And so I think it's about like about 15 inches is a cubit. So this guy's about like 9 feet. This is yeah, this is a big dude, no doubt about it, right? And there's two tribes at war, right? The Israelites, which is Israel, and then the Philistines, which is the other. We'll just call it the other. Or more Egyptian, everything like that. But the story, unfolds in actually in the heat of battle, and a story that the kind of is it tells itself through this guy named Goliath, right? Instead of selling wars back then, with all out, massacre and, people going all at it, right? Like the wars that we know. Back then, they had a little bit of a different system. Like, okay, well, once you bring out your best warrior, and I'll bring out my best warrior, and we'll duke it out. And whoever wins is supreme, and they win that battle, right? Saves a lot of lives, saves a lot of inventory surplus, so forth, right? And Israelites, they're in this battle for territory to be able to keep Israel. And the Philistines were driving in, right? And so this 9 foot dude steps up and it's like, "Yo, what's up, man? Where's your best peoples? Huh? Come on, bring it out!" Right? And the Israelites they're of average height, right? They're just not that tall, right? Maybe they're probably like maybe half the height in this day and age, right, of Goliath, right? Let's just say 5'10", 5'8", 5'9",
Yeah,
right? That's
for
a good
sure.
height, average height,
Average height, yeah.
right?
It's
So
crazy
this
how
dude,
deep he was.
and it's funny, and then enter our hero of the story, right, David. Now, David, he wasn't part of the war. He was a shepherd, right? He was there to actually bring food and supplies to his brothers, right? To help boost the inventory and keep the army going. But he had no formal training. I mean, like I said, he's a shepherd, right? He's out there tending sheep, cultivating animals, right, for harvest. And anyways, so this guy he overhears Goliath talking mess about the God of Israel, right? The one true God. And David is like, being a shepherd and being the type of believer in God that he was, and especially in is for the Israel God, right? For him,
Yeah.
which is the same for us, nonetheless. But he had so much conviction because he heard him talking shit, right? He heard Goliath talking shit. He's like, "Yo, what's the deal?" I know you were talking about my father, though.
When he was just like helping out his brothers and stuff too, and then he hears it. That's wild, It's like, you know, you're on a new path, or you're on the right path. You're like, oh shucks, like I just heard that. I know what I need to do now. Like that's awesome.
Yeah, but he his story itself, right? I mean, of course, as a shepherd, it doesn't really depict what he's gone through in his life, right? The
Mhm.
experience he has to be able
Yeah.
to even take on a Goliath. But he had the heart and the will. He's like, all right, well, and so David heard it. He's like, yo, all right, man, well, let me step up and like knock you out real quick because you're talking too much shit.
Overly
I mean,
confident.
it's just like, right. And the army's trying to give him armor, trying to give him weapons. And David's like, no, I got this, man. God has prepared
Yo.
me. He, all throughout my life, everything that I've done every single day, it's been training for a specific moment. And
Yeah.
this is one of those moments. He just believed it. He knew it. He knew
Yeah.
with God that he could not fail because all things are possible with the Lord.
Yeah, in his own clothing too.
Right.
That's what tripped me out. Just like I'm good with what I have on right now. It's like, all right, like he knows that he's good. I'm
So,
like, that's amazing.
I mean, homeboy David's like, all right, I'll take you on. Right. And so he needed to prepare. So he went out, grabbed himself 5 smooth stones, right, and his slingshot, and came back to battle. And like I said, like people were trying to give him all sorts of different axes and swords. Your
Yeah.
armor up. This is going to be a big fight, right? People are scared and they're excited at the same time because because finally somebody's stepping up to the challenge.
Yeah.
So what do you think, right? What do you think happens once they actually meet up for battle?
So when they meet up, so in my thought, I'm like, this is. So as you're reading this, you're like, you're like, oh man, this is gonna be like, how is he even gonna win? Like, this is gonna be crazy. But he's so confident that you like believe in him too. So just him believing in himself, you believe in him too. You're like, okay, let's see how this goes down. And you have like, all right, like it doesn't matter the size, just as long as you believe. So it's like, so you believe with him, and you're in the fight with him. Like, okay, let's do this then. Like, I'm with him. Like, let's go. You know, like I'm ready to see what happens. Like, you're on his side. You're on David's side. You know.
No doubt about it, man. You know, and like we have all had the underdog story in our lives, right? Nobody
Yeah.
is always the favorite and everything, right? And any great achievement that I would say that any of us, you know, accomplish in life is essentially our victory, right? Because
Yeah.
at one time it was not that,
Yo, for real.
right? And
Seriously.
so I guess it's also an important moment to kind of have a segue to say, hey, you know, that the moments that you're in right today, right, were moments that you were dreaming of like a year ago, 5 years ago, and so
Exactly.
you know the appreciation of the moment leads to other ones that are just as big, right? But it's just
Yeah.
one of the things that we have to remember. Like, you know, today is a day that I was actually looking forward to getting to. I just didn't remember it from 5 years ago when I was actually hoping and praying for the same thing.
Exactly. And just
Right.
keeping that belief, it'll get you to those moments. Because when you're on your journey, it's just so hard, but you gotta keep believing, and then yeah, exactly, you'll be at that moment that you were praying for in the past or whatnot. It's so cool to
No
see.
doubt. Dude, no doubt, man. Well, anyway, so back to the story,
Here
right?
we
So
go.
okay, so David steps up. He's got his slingshot. He just, you know,
Yo.
I think I would envision a moment that he has a moment to himself. He's like, okay, Lord, everything that you've taken me through, I have had to protect the herd from the herd of sheep that or the herd from wolves and tigers and lions, and that this should be no different, right? Because those were all building blocks to this moment. Lord, I believe that you had written this part of the story specifically for me, right?
Yes.
And you've already armed me up with all the tools. That's what people always say. Like, you already have everything inside you to get it done, right?
Yes.
Because it was, if you're thinking about it, that means that you can do it. So therefore, the
Exactly.
tools are already there. You just gotta begin, right? And of course, that's what David did. He dug into it. He dug into that mentality. He's like, yo,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take this dude down.
Yeah.
So he reels back, you know, spins up the slingshot, boom, hit Goliath square in the head. This dude is down, right?
Yeah.
This is like you know like that movie Friday, like Craig and Debo. This is like, damn, you got knocked the fuck out, Debo.
Yeah, that's really David and Goliath right there too. From Dr. Dre's perspective, that's dope.
Oh man. Oh
Because
shit. Nice
Debo
one, Craig. Now you're gonna get two sequels, dog.
because that was for real Goliath fucking Craig. Oh my god, this fucking Devo, that's freaking awesome, man. But yeah,
You
hits.
know, David just knew that with God, you know, when God is for you, there's nobody that can be against you, right? That's a story.
Yeah,
That's an example of that story,
yeah,
right? That once you got God on your side and you have His favor, and that, especially in that particular type of moment and challenge, you know, you're going to succeed, right? But you still got to go
yeah.
through it.
Exactly. With and like back to what we were saying. Exactly. It's just with that one rock too, and that was it, and that's what took him out or whatnot. Because as you were saying, like that was all it needed. And I was like,
It's wild because he picked up 5 rocks, but he only needed one. He's like, yo, Jay-Z, one take that, bro.
for real though.
You know
I
what I'm
was
saying? One
like,
stone, one
just
slingshot, one take, bro.
one
Boom.
take, like just the belief and like exactly just that one shot, and that was it. And I was like, oh dang, that was really it's an awesome story. It's really it's really
You know, and the amount of confidence, right,
yes.
to go up someone, like, you know, let's say just say double your size, right, in a vicious battle, right, and and it's obvious the Goliath that he's, you know, he's military trained, he's experienced,
Yeah,
he's been in this type of stuff, right.
yeah, yeah.
But David has not, but he just knew that God had already prepared him through, other events in his life. His, the 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 character development was there. He believed that God had developed
Yes.
his character for this moment, and took that leap. Right, boom,
Exactly.
done deal.
Done deal. And that character development is huge from him being a shepherd and like the adversities he had to face, like guarding his sheep and all that, to prepare. It's like it's amazing. And when you're in that, it's crazy when you're in that. Like he's a shepherd, right? And then like how like the story goes, like you said, like he prepares with the lions and he fights tigers and all that. Like you're just in it and you don't know anything else. And then you're like, oh, this is why I was doing it too, because it prepares you for this fight. Um, it's like that show, The Bear. There's this girl that's an actress on that show now, but before she was just a line cook. She was in the kitchen for like 6 years. She was just doing her thing. Like I'm just gonna do this while I'm like become an actress. And then The Bear came out, and then her being in the kitchen for 6 years prepared her for that spot. So it's like he's really preparing you. Sometimes you don't even know that he's preparing you, and you get to that moment, you're like, oh wow, that's amazing. Like I'm ready to take this on. It's so cool.
Dude, no doubt, man. That's why I'm like, it's hard to, like, when you're going through the challenges of any victory that you're on, right? That, I mean, you're going to get tested, right?
Yes.
The road is going to get steep. There's going to be objections and resistance from just a general world, right? For you to accomplish it. But it's not just there to test you. It's also
Yeah.
to build you that strength for the next moment. Because
Yes.
once you get started on your journey for any victory, it only, you notice that it only gets more difficult as you go,
Oh
right? Just because
yes.
of the fact
Oh
that
my
you're doing
gosh.
more incredible shit, right? And
Yes.
so it's gonna take more gasoline for more fire, right? That's what you gotta go through.
That pressure is real. It's like when Andre 3000 and Big Boy won. They're at the Sorcerer Awards and they won New Artists, and then they're like it was an East Coast and West Coast beef going on, and then they were getting booed because they won New Artists because it was just East Coast and West Coast shit, and then like Big Boy's like, all right, what do you got? Oh, so what's up, Andre? And he's like, well, the South got something to say. Like no one's trying to listen to the South, but we got something to say. And then from that, like Atlanta like rose up. So it's like from that, he's like, I'm thanking for everyone that booed because in that pressure, that pressure that they became like you can become a diamond or you can just like not do anything. But they fucking became a diamond from that pressure. I was like, yes, man. Like so when you're under that pressure, you're like, okay, let's keep going because we're gonna be fucking diamonds. I
Dude, no
was like,
doubt.
let's go.
Dude, talking about victories, right? I mean,
Yo,
those are some victories that are known, right, from a public standpoint. But I mean, what about you, man? The pressure it took
oh man,
for you to make this leap, right, of in your own journey of going from LA to Austin and then eventually from your hometown, you're like, you know what? I can do more, I can be more, but I need to be in New York, and just dropping all your stuff, right? And
yeah,
making that move for yourself. I mean, talk to me about that pressure, because there's got to be pressure there to succeed, right? Because you didn't do all this for nothing, but you have belief in your
yeah,
own story, right? That exemplifies the David and Goliath story, just in your own move from Austin to New York. So it's like
yeah.
peak game on that. Like what happened, dude? Like,
Moving to New York, it wasn't even in because I just wanted to get out of Texas. I wanted to be in a spot, a creative spot to create. And then when I was in LA, I was in LA for about a year. I was doing artwork there. It was great, but I had to move back. So that was already a pressure of like, how am I gonna make New York work when I was there for a year, but I wanted to stay longer. And I came back. I was like, how am I gonna make New York work? But I just kept on believing. Like I had a way to get there as far as like working remote with my job. But even if they said no, I just knew I just had to go because it goes back to that like that pressure of like do you want it or not in a way of like, and you got to figure out once you're on the path, you'll figure out how to get there. So just that pressure alone of moving to New York, I was like, oh my gosh. as hard as it sounded to get there, like once I decided I want to go there, things were lining up, and I was able to just transition to New York. But like to think of just how crazy it is to move, it was a lot. I, it was a lot. I don't know how to
I bet,
describe.
man.
It was crazy. It was just nuts because I didn't even think I would be here. But like I just really took a leap of faith because I felt it like how David felt it. Like I was like I just gotta believe in this, and it's just gonna work, you know. And then the only reason it didn't work in California, it worked, but it was like I know you want to be in a city out like and to create a creative city, but like it's not California, it's New York. And then when you believe, like it's just that one, like David, that one shot, everything just lined up. Like it was kind of scary that how much it lined up. Like I just believed and got my rocks ready to go, you know. And then the slung one rock, and I got it. I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like you just gotta really believe and listen to that, because you're gonna have doubts from the past and all that. But like what we were talking before, even when we start recording, like this is the present, and then we just got to believe now, and then we'll get there, you know. Like so yeah, it all worked out. Just you just got to believe, man. Like as scary as it is, like you just got to really believe and hunker down. Man, it's
It's tough,
crazy.
man.
It's
You
tough,
know, I
man.
mean,
It's tough, Michael. Jeez.
faith is the substance of not of things unseen, right? But
Yes.
known.
Yeah.
You know,
How?
and
ex-
it's hard to know. So it's hard to know like a victory, or what where the journey is supposed to take you if
Michael.
you've never been down that road. But to kind of trust, have that trust, right? Just like how Jesus went into the wilderness for 40 days. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't imagine that there was a specific destination, right? Where it was more in the wilderness. That's the area of test before he started his ministry, right? Before
Yeah.
making that big leap. And
Exactly.
so,
It's the same with you, Michael. Like you have this successful career, um, but I know you with your search of finding your spiritual journey and more to even to get to a spot like you where you are now. Like, tell us about your journey of like how you found this. You know what I'm saying? Like your spiritual journey, your because that was a big journey for you. You know, like coming from the corporate world to like I need more in a way. You know, like you're doing great in that world, of course, but you're like, I need more. I remember you would tell me about it. So like, yeah, talk about yours. It's amazing, you know.
well, I guess I'll share the reality on things, right? Of there, because there's a lot in this journey, right? And
Yeah.
I'm still on it, and so it's hard to proclaim anything yet outside of I had victory over yesterday, right?
That's awesome.
It's a daily battle, right? But you're there
Yeah.
to win the war, right?
Yeah.
And you know that the more you put into it, right? The effort, to build to have the discipline to get things done, it will always yield more fruit, right? And
Yeah.
that's what God wants for you, right? He wants to prosper you, right? Not to
Yeah.
harm you or create any fear.
Yes.
So, I mean, just thinking about from that side, right? There's a lot of goals that we chase after, right? That once we achieve victory, you get lost in it because it's like, oh, let me get another one. If you stop and enjoy the moment, right? Being in the present, enjoying that journey, it changes a lot. I guess the challenges that you go through in that journey, right? Is it now, instead of like, oh, I got to do this or I'm going to get tested here, right? It's like, here's a chance for me to know that I'm stronger, to know that I'm
Yeah.
better, right? It's just like working out. People on a weight loss plan, right? They'll measure their weight at the end of every like 2-3 weeks, right? To see if they're losing weight. But is weight the right metric for like pounds and stuff like that? Is that the right increment for success?
Yeah.
And that's what makes a journey different for everybody. Some people are chasing a certain number, other people are chasing a healthier lifestyle.
Mhm.
But in the end, you still have to go to the gym and work out. You still got to go do discipline and eat right. Everybody still
Yes.
goes through it, even though you've got different results that you're shooting for. And
Yes.
so just know that that all of our victories kind of blend into one, right? And it's just to have peace, right? The peace that you've accomplished, that you're done, that your family is taken care of, that your worries are taken care of, and that's the real victory. To achieve that is that peace of mind, right, in
Yes.
life.
Yes, for sure. That peace of mind is a lot. You got to protect that.
I
Like
mean,
you said, you got to stay present, like you said, to really protect that. Because if you waver in the past or in the future, that peace is just gonna get shaky. You just gotta, like you said, appreciate in the present moment and like know that you're in it. Because you're like, oh, how come am I not at this moment? But you're already in it. You're doing it. You know. So it's like this is it. This is exactly what you wanted to do. So appreciate that. It's
yeah, man.
amazing.
I'm sure in your roads in your times in Austin, right? There was a moment that you had to know, right? That you're like, this is where it's got to be. I've got to make this move, right? You got to make that leap.
Yeah.
And coming to those moments is a difficult part, right? But
Yeah.
I guess to help connect it, right? There's many ways to victory, right? One of the ways and approaches that I like to think about and even talk about is how Batman does it. Think about this. Batman, regular human dude. This is a rich dude, right?
Let's go. Let's go. This is dope. This is dope.
More money doesn't always give you superpowers, right? That shit that's different.
Yes.
All right.
Preach.
And Batman's whole thing, right, is that he is planned for every scenario. He's planned for every moment. So he's prepared for whatever is going to get thrown at him, so he can overcome that challenge, right? And so for him, it's about preparation. All the things that he does on an everyday basis, right, to make sure that he's ready for that moment.
Yes.
Ready for that moment where the Joker tries to sneak him, right, and tries to stab him. Caught it, bro. Bam. Right?
Right.
And Two-Face, he tries to flip a coin, right? But at the same time, Batman's got super accurate trajectory, right?
Yeah.
And he can throw a batarang and knock the coin out of the air. It causes Two-Face to like get confused and fall over, right? You know what I mean?
Over.
That takes some fucking practice, though. You just don't fucking throw batarangs at coins, dude. All right, it takes some practice, some discipline.
Seriously. That preparation
But
is
man, I'm
for
telling you, man,
real.
have you ever read like a Batman comic or seen one?
I've seen. I just watched the cartoons or whatnot, but I haven't really read the comic. But I know like how he prepares. Like his preparation is insane. I was like, for him to even search,
Dude.
for him to even search for that, because he was in the mountains searching for that shit. Like, I have to train with this guy. Like, damn! Like you said, like money is nothing like that. He's still in the mountains trying to up his skills. Like what? It's snowing in that bitch. That's not good. That's discipline.
Okay,
for
so
real.
I mean, like if you read some of these comics, right? Like the comics, they go deeper into like crime fighting stories, right?
Okay,
so
okay.
It's like there's moments where Batman is like fighting Superman. Of course, we know about that, which is like another David and Goliath situation, right?
Yeah,
but Batman is fucking prepared, right? Anyways. So I mean, he faces off other characters that are much more deadlier, right?
Yes.
That like Darkseid and is the equivalent of Thanos, right, from the Marvel universe, right?
Uh-huh.
And he beats these dudes that shoot laser beams out of their eyes. I'm like, yo Batman is the ultimate.
Seriously,
David and Goliath story. And he has that confidence about him, right?
Yes.
And he knows, right, all the battles that he's fought over the years has prepared him for this next big battle.
Yes, man, and it makes other people believe. There's this Reddit thread that like people have read, like who would win, Batman or King Kong, or it's like I think it's Batman or Godzilla, and everyone's like Batman, of course, because this is Batman. He's prepared, he knows what to do, and he believes, and then makes everybody else believe too. You're like, yo, it's gonna be good, Batman, dude. Like, how can it not be Batman? It makes you prepared and ready too. Like, I gotta be prepared like that guy. That guy's good, dude.
This is my personal favorite.
Yeah.
But his whole game plan, like, is he's prepared for every moment, right? He's so disciplined, right? He knows like 10 different forms of martial arts, right? Just from all his journeys and travels.
Wild.
So this guy is, experienced, right? And so like him stepping up and being a crime fighter is not too far of a stretch versus just knowing Taekwondo, right? You only key up in so many battles, man.
Until they know you're like, I think he's a fraud. All he's doing is Kia thing.
Because you know what's louder than a key up? It's a fucking pistol. All right, it's a gun. It's louder than a key up. Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, I wasn't prepared for this. That's awesome.
But anyways, so to help resonate with the audience, right? Like more of these stories of victory, because it's an everyday like it's an everyday that you experience victories, right? And to be able to understand how you achieve victory there may be the key to where you achieve victory in other places, right? Or the feeling of what it's supposed to feel like when you're fully trusted in the Lord, right? That He's going to deliver for you, He's going to redeem you, and it's going to happen, right? But at the same time, it's all about character development. Right?
Oh man,
the more character development, have you ever noticed, like, a more character development that any storyline goes into, like Batman's character development is a lot, right?
Yeah.
But he goes off and does these incredible things, right? And that's kind of the trade-off sometimes.
Yeah.
As much shit as you go through in that specific area, right? It's probably with enough focus and discipline and knowing that and in belief that every single day is set up for you to succeed closer to that goal, right? Because that's how God set it up for you.
Yeah.
You're gonna get there, man. And it's gonna feel good, but make sure you enjoy those victories, dude. Like, I'm not saying hit the clubs and pop some bottles, but like at least let's go out for a taco or something,
You know what I'm saying? Taco and like a couple sodas, something, man. But like you said, that character development is real. It's like oh my god, when you're in it, it's a lot. But then when it's for something good in a way. Like when you really just sit there and really think about it, like you kind of like prayed for it, like I need to get to where I need to get to, and this all has to be done in order to get there. It's like once you realize that, like it's hard. Yeah, it's fucking hard when the pressure's on and that character development is just like character development, character development, character development. And it's like, yo, okay, is there enough character development? But like, it's like, all right, like you're getting stronger. It's wild, dude.
I mean, you think about it, right? Like most people don't think about it, but of course, when you work out, right, and you're hitting weights, essentially you're tearing, you're making these small tears in your muscle fiber, right, that regrow stronger, right, and that's how you gain muscle. And so even in even in working out and becoming more stronger, there's tears and that have to happen, right? And I mean, beneath the surface, I'm sure it's pretty gruesome and it's in its own function, right? But just know, man, you got in anything worthwhile, you have to take some blows, right?
Man, yeah, you got to.
But knowing that you're meant for more and that your story's not done, right? Because any well-written story is always going to end in a good way. There's always a climax and then there's an ending to it, right? And so, but that's where other chapters and other novels evolve for you, right? But this is at least, I mean, Harry Potter got 8 books, and so I think we can have at least, that's a minimum of 8.
So, yeah, we get at least a couple books, I feel you. Oh my gosh, like you said, like a beginning and end, and it ends well or whatnot. And it's that moment before everything comes together, that everything is lost moment. Where you feel like all that character development, and then you feel, in a way, kind of like so lost. Like I've been going in, like I feel like it's all lost, and then boom, like that's when too. You're like, all right, it's gonna fucking happen. It's crazy.
It's pretty wild. Like a lot of times, like the what you're working at, or like for instance, like in my career, right? It's especially right now in my journey. It's you ever see those shows, right? Like those corporate shows where they go out and they make the big pitches, right, to like a corporation. It's a lot more like marketing, advertising, but it exists in different forms, right? In different industries for different things like supply chain, right? And so there's been many corporations where we've had to go in to make a big pitch, right? There's like a demonstration, but then there was always like a big pitch, right, to really seal the deal, right, to get to the
Yeah,
next
that's
step, right? But
yo.
as you watch these shows and stuff like that, they show more of the actual presentation that takes like maybe an hour, but in true reality, it took like probably like 2 weeks and like probably like 100 to 200 man hours, right, of working hours of people thinking about how the story should flow, what how they should show off their product.
Oof.
There's and what's going to resonate with the customer, anticipating personalities that you're going to encounter at that executive level. There's a
Yeah.
lot that goes into a lot of analysis before that big pitch, but you only see that 30 minutes, and so in a way that you may not value it like as somebody else will, but someone that's been through the journey of each of these deals, right, and actually gone through all the different preps, because it's not the big meeting that wins you the deal. It's all the little things that you do that add up to it, and the things that you do after the big meeting that seal the deal, right? It's
Man.
never just oh, I hit a home run, it's done, right?
I love. Yeah, and a lot of people think that
you know,
too. Like this rapper Rhapsody, she was getting into the game, and she even said the same thing. She's like, because she was going with Ninth Wonder, and they're like, he was going under her, like they're starting off her career, and she's like, all I just need is one hot mixtape, and I'm good. It's like, no, it's like the preparation, and it just takes time. Like you said, it's not just one home run. That's crazy.
unless you got like a one hit wonder that makes you like 100 million, and you're just like, you know what? I think I'm good, bro. That one hit was nice.
You're like, all right, victorious, That's awesome.
So I think next time, Don, so we can come back, right, and
Yeah.
we can dive into some more stories of victory, and really start to like I guess identify the major milestones, right? I guess I would say even the feelings that you as you're going through
Oh
something that you're
man.
brand new, right? That
Yeah.
kind of lead to victory, right? Because I think there's so much to discuss here because there's so many different victories, but if you can achieve one, you have the blueprint for the next one, right?
Yes.
That's the idea.
You really do. It's um it's still tough, but it gets a little bit easier each time. You just follow that blueprint, and you achieving each one, you're like, okay, let's you're more confident for the next one and the next one. You just keep going, and it'll create like those small victories will create the big picture, the big victory picture that you've always wanted. It's just building it brick by brick, like with that blueprint. That
I'll tell you,
blueprint,
Matt.
man.
There are sometimes that people are like, oh, you gotta have a dream, you gotta focus, but man, sometimes like the story is getting well written, is so written, like God writes such a good story for you. You're like, you know what? I don't know what I want because I thought I did, but then you gave me this, and this was better,
Come on, it's always like that.
right? And so
Good.
yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta be open to like different results. I think because there's a lot of times
Yes.
the other results they yield better fruit.
Come on, because that's his answers. It's either yes or I have something better. That's it, really. Like that's it. Like you can rest easy in that, and once you hear that no, like that something better is right around the corner. You're like, okay, that's why this didn't happen. Just like me in California, it's like I guess I'm not gonna go to California. It's like you're not going to California, but like here's New York. You're like, wow, what? You don't even see it coming. With sometimes with those, I have something better. Like it's wild. You're like, oh my god, it's crazy. So I
Oh yeah,
reckon
man.
that's freaking
It's
amazing.
just like okay, so like in the crypto space, right? This is for
Yo,
people that like you
yes,
got your Bitcoin and Ethereum, right?
yeah,
And basically, what Bitcoin does is what Ethereum does, and so there's a success roadmap, right? That happened with Bitcoin, right? That as the Ethereum goes through, or is already has or gone through, but basically the movements itself, right? They mimic each other because there's a certain path of victory that are going to go up. So
yeah,
therefore, there's a certain pattern that they follow to go up, right?
yeah,
So just think about that, and like you can tie it to anything. So really, like the more we dive into these stories of victory, right? Going through, talking to about our own personal ones, right? And the
yeah,
ongoing ones, but then like other people that we talk to, right? Gives you like a different, like gives you the blueprint for victory, just in a lot of different ways, a lot of different flavors, right? It's the same
Yeah.
ice cream cones, right? But at Baskin Robbins, you got 31 flavors, dog. How many scoops you want? How many different flavors? Like, are you all gonna, you just gonna get all daiquiri ice, bro? Come on, man.
I can see it behind the counter, like, come on, man, like, there's 31 flavors, and that's a,
Oh,
and that's,
just chocolate, huh? Okay,
and it's so crazy because when you feel like you're like doing more than one thing, people are like, just stick to one thing, but it's in your heart. Something tells you to do this too. You're like, I'm gonna jump it. Like it's in my heart, so I don't know. Like you don't have to do like one whole thing. Like you said, you have 31 flavors that you can like try all at once if you want to. You know, like why not? You know, just freaking go for it.
I mean, like, you get the sprinkles or not? Oh, now you got chocolate sprinkles? Really? Okay.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like I see how you try and increase my toppings appetite. I see
Come
it.
on. He really does. You just feel it in your heart. He'll like, that's cool. Like how about this? You want to do this too? He just like touches your heart. Like, hey, like, all right, that's
You know,
cool. It's fun.
like there's like victory in like so many different things. Like even like if you go to like marble slab, right? Which is where there's like this they have this ice stone cold like marble slab, and they just like take ice cream and just take a bunch of like toppings and just throw it in there and just mush it up for you, right? So it's like
Yo,
a blizzard parfait, you know, like
that is
McFlurry, wherever you want to call it, but they do it live, right? And it's
yeah.
just, man, like there's so many ways that you can get it, but man, it still tastes good as ice cream when you get it.
Yes, that's exactly the example. Like you're just mixing it all together, and you're like, and because you get to choose too. You're like, I'll get this, this, and this, and it's great each time. You're like, yeah, that's good. You know, that's freaking
You
awesome.
know what I'm saying? So I keep that in mind, Baskin Robbins, for when we get nationally syndicated. You know what I'm saying? Advertising money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that the I am
Shoot it this
show,
way.
right? The I am show ice cream flavor.
Oh man, definitely ice just like just went off the roof.
That
You
daiquiri
can't make it
ice,
fast enough, guys.
the daiquiri ice and chocolate sprinkles are just fucking just a crave right now. Sold out.
But
That's freaking
but
amazing,
anyways,
man.
yeah. So join us next time, right? When
Yes,
we dive into the next deep dive story about victory and what
yes,
it takes and what it entails, the twists, the turns, all
yes.
of that.